Welcome to the Sam and Joe VA Show, where we teach women just like you how to start and scale a thriving virtual assistant business.
We're your hosts, Sam and Joe, and get ready to have the control, flexibility, and freedom you've always dreamed of.
Welcome to episode 161. What we learned from creating Launch in 30 Days.
We released a brand spanking new course this year, which we are super excited about. We are so proud of. It was 3 years in the planning. Epic. Like that alone, mammoth, right? And we weren't sure during the process of creating the course whether or not this was going to make us or break us. Or maybe break us before it made us.
There were a lot of lessons from creating this mammoth course. It was so much work and so bloody worth it.
Oh, totally. Totally worth it. And, you know, we talk a lot about making mistakes. Not to say we made lots of mistakes, but it's about learning from your experiences, whether there was mistakes in there or not, right? And we have got so many learnings. I don't think, Joe, would you agree? I didn't expect to come out of the process, a different person. I didn't expect to have so many learnings coming out from creating just a course.
You say just a course, but like it's an epic course.
It is an epic course, but it is just a course. I feel like we learned so much about ourselves, about the virtual assistant community,
We did,
about business in general. Like just so much.
Yeah, there was so many
incredible.
learnings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to share. We thought it would be really great to share some of the really big learnings with you guys, because even though you're probably not going to create a course, there are still learnings that you can take from what we've found out from this experience and you can use in your own business.
Yeah. The big one for me was do things before you're ready. Like we could have kept coming up with excuse after excuse after excuse as to why it wasn't the right time, why something else could, should, would be done instead. And we just had to say enough is enough. Like we just have to commit and do it even though we feel like we're not ready, because there's never going to be a perfect time.
No, there would never have been the perfect time. You're right. I mean, the amount of conversations that we had, like, oh, we can't do it now because we've got such and such coming up and that's going to be taking our energy and our time. And we can't do it now because of this has happened. And, you know, we really want to get it right. Like, this is going to be our signature course. So it has to be epic. And that's going to take time and energy. It was all just fear. It was all just fear. It was fear that was holding us back. Not that I don't regret us doing it when we did it. Like in hindsight, I actually think possibly creating this course any earlier may have broken us, because I don't know whether we would have been strong enough in our own partnership and just as business owners, and the amount of faith that we had in our product and our knowledge and our expertise. Like maybe we wouldn't have, maybe we wouldn't have had that a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's only in hindsight that you know that, oh, actually it was the right time. You're never going to know beforehand that it was the right time. And so if you're thinking about launching your business, there's never going to be the perfect time and you're never going to actually feel ready. It's like never going to happen.
Well, not even launching,
not even
just launching your business, Joe. I mean, if you're thinking about growing your team, there is
Mm,
never going to be the right time. If you're thinking about niching and becoming a premium virtual assistant specializing in a particular service, there's never going to be the perfect time.
yeah.
All of those big business decisions,
Mhm.
you are going to find excuse after excuse after excuse to put it off and not have to make that decision.
Mhm. Yep.
Uh, the other thing we learnt kind of along the same lines is if you actually really want something to happen, you've got to start talking about it publicly. I mean, we've been talking about it for 3 years, so that wasn't an issue, but we realized that that alone wasn't enough. I actually
Mhm.
think twice we'd set launch dates
Yep.
and and then wave those launch dates goodbye because they just weren't gonna happen. So
Mhm.
when it came to the 3rd time going, "Okay, we've gotta set a launch date, and we've gotta do more than just saying it's gonna be a launch date. We actually need to start selling it. We need to be marketing it. We need to get people on a wait list, not just the wait list. We need to start actually selling the course."
Mhm.
So we didn't have when we first started selling the course, we had the structure of the course in place, but we didn't have one video recorded.
Mhm.
Not one.
And you know what? When we sold that first course, we were like, "Right, this is happening. We have to deliver this." And it put a rocket up our butts, and we were like, "We're doing it." We had to plan it, we had to schedule in the times that we were gonna commit to doing the content, the videoing, the resources, everything. We had to commit.
Yeah. And it's actually this is a strategy. It's a very well-known strategy for
Mhm.
course creators, especially.
Yep.
The selling it before you've actually got it, because there is no point. You think about how many hours, if we're just talking about recording hours alone, not
Mhm.
the creating it, not the structure, not the marketing, not the selling, not everything else,
Not the
but
editing.
not the editing. So if we're just talking about raw filming footage hours, how long did it take us?
30 hours.
30 hours sitting with you like we are now.
And we're still talking.
And we're still talking. But can you imagine if we'd done all that first? If we put
Mm.
all that work, so that 30 hours just filming, then all that other stuff we just talked about, the editing, the selling, the marketing, the actual, all of that stuff that goes around it, and we then hadn't sold anything,
It'd be devastating.
be devastated. You just wanna go, "Nope, that's it. It's crap. It's rubbish. No
Mhm.
one wants it. That was a waste of time. See you later. Bye. Not doing this anymore."
Yeah, and that's why it is a well-known strategy of sell the thing that you
Yeah.
haven't created yet before you're ready. Yeah.
Yeah, but it worked for us because we then had absolutely no more excuses. We couldn't put it off anymore because someone had literally given us their money,
Yeah.
so we had to deliver. We weren't gonna
Mhm.
let anyone down.
Mm. Yeah. So what are you putting off that
Yeah.
you want to do? And so what is something that you could make happen so that you had to do it?
Yes. Yeah.
That you had to do it. You had to deliver. And this actually part of the actual content inside the course is getting the launches to actually launch before they had a proposal,
Mhm.
before they had a contract,
Yeah.
before they had everything ready for onboarding.
Mhm.
They actually launched and talked about it and got people to inquire before they were ready.
Yeah. They questioned that at the time, though.
They
Let's
did.
be honest. That the first round of launches that we took through the live version of the course that had us mentoring them for 30 days, didn't quite trust the process initially, like, in
Mhm.
the early days. It was like, but what about this? Shouldn't we be doing this? And it's like, absolutely. Day 21, that's exactly what we're going to be covering. We're not covering it in day 5. It's far too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't until I reckon getting halfway through the course
Mm.
that it all just went click, 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 click. And it was like, right, they now at that point could understand why we had structured it the way that we had, why we didn't have them doing their websites in the first week,
Mm.
setting up their social media accounts too early,
Mm.
going through how to onboard a client,
Yep.
because all stuff that they would then it would just distract them from it's the boring stuff, but it's the stuff that matters. It's the business basics that you've got to get right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the reaching out, the finding clients, the selling the course, the finding clients. That stuff needs to happen before you're ready.
Yes.
Yeah. Another thing that we realized was that clarity comes from taking action. We just started. We weren't clear on a whole lot of things about the course
Yeah.
until we actually started taking action. And then things started to become more clear. And then we're like,
Mm.
okay, now we can make a decision on that because we've got more information. We know we've made some decisions on some other things. We've put some things in place. Now we can see what needs to happen for this thing down the track, down on the journey.
Mm.
Like if we had tried to get everything perfect and set everything up and make all the decisions all right at the start before we took any action, we would have had to go back and do more, like
Mhm.
redo things because we'd made not the right decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clarity comes from action.
Yeah, that's why any business owner, when they've got something like this that they've been putting off, it's normally because they're just frozen. The overwhelm
Mm,
as to how they're going to pull that off just freezes them.
mhm,
They can't get past that. Whereas it's just taking that first step, that first little step,
mhm.
and then the rest then just falls into place.
Yeah. So whatever you're putting off in your business, like what is the first step that you could take? Because it
Mm,
brings that clarity. Has the next step start to appear because you've taken that first step?
yeah.
I
One of
love
the
that one
other
because I love taking action. So that
yeah,
suits me down to a T.
imperfect action taking all the way. Imperfect action. But the other thing that we kept on forgetting throughout this process, what,
Mm,
3 months process? About 3 months?
mm, 3
3
months.
months it took us. Probably if you were talking like in terms of hours, it took 2 of us working full time on this for 3 months plus weekends. A good 2 months worth of weekend work as well. So we were very, very tired. We had periods where we were over it. We wanted to call it quits. We had days that we would start off just crying because we were that tired. We were that tired.
Oh,
Like,
it feels like a distant memory now, but like
oh,
it was bad. It was really bad
it
in
was really
terms of
bad. Yeah.
energy overwhelm.
Now what got us through that was going back to like our daily rituals, our woo woo that we like to call on. So we made sure that no matter how shitty we were feeling that day, we
Mhm.
needed to take a moment to breathe and we needed to pull a card. And I swear to you, how many times did the cards remind us that we needed to bring light and laughter to it? Like the words light and laughter and shine and
Fun,
joy
joy.
that that came up on the cards, it was like, we can't ignore this. It's really easy to become too serious about something because it is important.
Mm,
And we I think because we knew how important it was, we were taking it seriously and we had forgotten that it's also fun as well. And people doing the course, they want to be inspired by light and laughter and fun.
Mm.
They're not going to be inspired by looking at the two of us with bloodshot eyes and yawning throughout the videos. Like, that's not inspiring.
No. Yeah, it was a great reminder every morning. It was just like, "Oh, really? The same." No, it wasn't even the same card. The same message.
Yes.
Sometimes it was the same card, but the same message. It's just like, okay, the universe is trying to tell us over and over. And so
Yeah.
it was a great reset every morning to then bring that fun, laughter, and joy into the course and the content that we were delivering.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, we totally need that reminder because some days were tough. The other slightly woo-woo thing is around like your vibration and your energy.
Mm.
Let's talk about that, Joe.
Yeah. So something that Alex Tripod, who we um, have been to a few workshops of hers, she talks about the vibration of your energy. And it was just so true that, like, reminding ourselves through the course to be grateful that we get
Mm,
to create this course, we get to change people's lives, we get to
mhm,
inspire, we get to have people have this most incredible life and get confidence and feel like they have self-worth again. Like, gratitude for that every single day
mm,
really helped us keep our frequency high. So Alex talks about your gratitude actually lifts your vibration or your frequency by 700 hertz. And it skips past all of the levels where there's all that fear and doubt. And it skips up to where you can feel joy and happiness and feel courageous.
that's powerful. There is
Hmm.
such power in gratitude. And you kind of think, well, yeah, okay, whatever, that just seems a bit woo-woo. But there's actually some science involved too.
Yes.
There is some actual science involved too. It's
Mm.
not all woo-woo.
Yeah. So something that I'd read about those people who can truly feel joy are those who practice gratitude.
Mm,
If you have no
mm,
gratitude practices or can never stop
mhm.
and think what you're grateful for, you will not experience joy.
Yes, because you're just after the next thing all the time, right?
Your
Always
frequency
something
is
there. Yeah.
always low in that fear zone.
So are you practicing gratitude? How do you practice gratitude? Are you doing it consistently? Like, if not daily, weekly. It doesn't take long. It's not hard. You don't have to journal about it. You can
You
literally
could. You could if you
you
wanted.
could, but you don't have to. Like, you can just take 5 minutes, ground yourself, no distractions, be in the moment and just think about what you're grateful for that week.
Mm.
All of the wonderful things that have happened. Maybe not even that. Maybe some weeks it might be really hard to find wonderful things that have happened, but there'll be things that you're still grateful for.
I could look out my window right now and be like, "Oh, I'm grateful for the sunshine."
Yes.
Mm.
I'm grateful our tech's working today. Like, internet's
Our
bloody
internet is
10 10.
amazing.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Gratitude lifts your vibration. Do it. Take a
Mm,
small amount of time every day.
yeah. We were making some bad decisions
Were
on
we?
some of those bad days, weren't we? Like, there were points on the bad days during this 3-month process where we couldn't make any decisions, like, our brains were just gone. It's not a great place when you are overwhelmed and you are stressed, a little bit of fear, because some days the fear kicked in, "Could we
Mm.
actually pull this off in time?" Not a great place to be making decisions. Like, it dumbs your brain down. I'm sure you'll explain that better than I just did. But all of those negative once again, all those negative energies and negative feelings that are just piled on top of you, That is not a great place to be using your brain. Wow.
No. So we heard an amazing stat where when you are stressed and overwhelmed, you release the hormone cortisone.
Mhm.
Cortisol. Cortisol.
Cortisol.
Cortisone is like cream that you put on a
I was
steroid
gonna
cream.
say yes.
Cortisol, the
Like
hormone.
nappy rash cream, isn't it?
Okay, so when you're stressed and overwhelmed, you release cortisol and it drops your IQ by 40%.
You're 40% dumber when you are in a heightened state of stress, everybody.
And if that is constant for you right now, like we can feel when cortisol is pumping through our body.
Yeah.
Sam and I described it as we get that tingly
Tingly.
anxiousness feeling all over our body. That is cortisol releasing in your body.
Mm.
If you're sustaining that day after day after day, like we were,
Mhm.
40% dumber.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with we were definitely 40% dumber. We were able to deliver the product even on those days because we know it inside out.
We didn't have to come up with new stuff.
We weren't coming up with new stuff. It's
Yeah.
stuff that we had been building over 3 years of
Yeah.
doing this together.
Mhm.
So thank God we didn't have to create anything new. It was really just about being able to communicate stuff that we'd already created.
Mm.
But then when it came, like, as soon as the recording stopped, and then we had to actually think about other things that were going on in our business besides the 30-day course, all bets are off. It would take us so much longer to make even just the smallest of decisions.
Yeah, it was tough.
Like, should we go have lunch? I don't know, should we? Like, literally.
Yeah.
Or I'd be like, "Joe, go to the have a bathroom break." You need to be reminded, and I need to be reminded to have food, and pretty sure you had to remind me that my kids were still alive outside of this room.
Yeah, or like, "Oh, what should we work on now?" No idea.
Dunno.
No idea.
Yeah,
It was really tough.
yeah.
So if you're in that, like, heightened, stressed, overwhelmed state, I think what helped us too is that we knew that there was an end. There was an
Mm,
end date. We had a like, "This is the project, we just need to get through it. This is not long term." But we know there are virtual assistants, and maybe you right now listening, where you're overwhelmed and you don't see an end. Like, something has to change.
yeah, if you're in overwhelm, if you're close to burnout because you're working all of the hours for your clients, like we were working all the hours for this blooming course that we love so much, it's likely that, like us, you broke a lot of boundaries, and then for us, it was our work hour boundaries. They went out the see you later, out the window, down the road, on a train, down to Wellington, in my case. They're gone, right? So, chances are that if you're that virtual assistant, your boundaries have gone out the window. Now, it's okay to let go of some of those boundaries if you're working on something in particular, if, as Joe said, you have got that end date. You know it's not gonna be forever, it's gonna finish. You've gotta kind of get out of jail plan strategy, like, you
Mhm,
know how you're gonna break out of it.
mhm.
But if you don't, could you imagine? Can you imagine if this is how we were working forever, like, I literally think we would have ended up in hospital
Yeah,
because we were getting sick.
yeah, yeah. It can't go on forever like that. You've gotta make some decisions. And your IQ might have dropped by 40%, and somehow you have gotta push out of that, and
Yeah.
you have got to make a decision about how you are going to make this better, because we promise you there is a solution.
Mm, yeah.
Every single person in that overwhelmed state, there is a solution.
Mhm.
You've got to put your hand up and ask for help.
Yeah. Thank God we had that end date, we knew. This is it. This day that all the recordings are done, all the editing's done, everything's there, it's going. We had that date. And so that then helped us in the low days when we honestly didn't think we were going to get to that end date. We visualized it. We're
Yeah.
like, this is how we're going to feel. This is
Mhm.
what it's going to look like when people are logging into Kajabi and they're seeing it all. God, it's going to look amazing. And we are going to feel light and we're going to be celebrating and we're going to go down to Queenstown and we're going to celebrate with all these virtual assistants for International VA Day. And
Yeah.
it's going to be amazing. And we would have created this thing that we've talked about for 3 years and everyone's going to buy it because why wouldn't they? Because it's going to be fucking amazing.
Mm.
We visualized it
Mhm.
and made it happen on those days where it would have been really easy to go, it's not going to happen.
Can't do
Let's just
it.
give up. Can't do it.
I wanted to say
Don't.
that multiple times, but
Yeah.
visualizing it definitely helped. Visualizing and, like, letting that feeling wash through and
Mm,
being in that feeling of it's done, it's delivered, it's changing lives. We're so proud of
mm.
it. Visualizing that really, really helped. But you can't visualize that if you don't have an end date.
No.
So have a
Yeah.
solution, have an end, visualize the end. There were also times where we really doubted, like, can we actually do this? Is this going to be good? Is this going to work? Are they going to get results?
Imposter syndrome. I don't think anyone can hide from it. It pops up.
Yeah. What we did in those cases is we looked at the evidence. We have virtual assistants who has gone through our framework,
Mhm.
our lessons, our advice, what we teach. It's the same. We don't change it. It's very consistent. It's just presented in a different form now inside Launch in 30 Days, all packaged
Yeah.
beautifully together. So we
Yeah.
looked at that evidence. We've had other virtual assistants follow our framework and they have results. They're booked out. They're running a successful business. They're super happy. It's changed their life. Why would it not work for this time?
I there was a couple of instances I had to hop on the website, Joe, and like read testimonials that people had left
Mm,
about learning from us and being coached by us. It's like,
yeah.
"Oh, it works. It works. This is gonna work. It's worked before. Of course. Why wouldn't it work?
Yeah.
But if that's you, like if you've just lost a client and you're doubting everything,
Mm,
because that's often a trigger
mhm,
where all of these feelings start kicking in. Go read the feedback that you've received from your past and current clients. Remind yourself that you
mhm,
are great at what you do. You've had clients before, you're going to have clients in the future too. You've just got to get back into the habits of doing the things that you know you need to do in order to get those clients.
mhm. Yep. Something else that we had to be very clear upfront about and with is what we needed from our families.
Ooh, yeah.
Clearly communicating with them about what this is going to be like for the next few months and why we're doing this, and reminding them because we couldn't just say it once.
Oh, yeah. We needed the reminders. Yeah, you know how we say no surprises with clients? You don't want your client to have any surprises about anything.
Mm,
And if you're communicating well, there shouldn't be any surprises. So we kind of we took that learning and lesson with our families. Like we talked to them in the lead up. Hey guys, for the next 2 months, we're going to be working all weekend and all week.
mhm,
It's going to be tough, but there is an end date. And then this is when it stops. And then life was going to go back to normal. And we can do lots of cool things in the weekends and after school again then. It's just for this short amount of time. But it's really important that we do this. So
mhm.
we need you on board. We need your support.
Yep. And kids being kids, they don't remember that next
No.
week. on the weekend when you're doing it. Like, I had to have multiple conversations with my son at bedtime. There's an end date. We just need to hang in there. This is what's happening. This is why I'm doing it. This is what we can do after
How many
every
times
weekend.
how many times did our kids say to us individually something along the lines of, "All you do is work.
Mhm.
All you do is work." Oh my gosh, it was like a dagger to the heart. I know for you as well, like, and because it was true. They're
Yeah.
speaking the truth. That's literally all we were doing.
Mhm. Yep.
Thankfully, we had that end date. We could remind
Mhm.
them of the end date and just ask them for their patience and their support, and it'll be worth it in the end.
Mm. Yep. So are you communicating with your family, your clients?
Mm.
Are you asking for what you need? Especially around those boundaries, especially around that support, sharing the load. Ask for what you need because they don't know. They actually don't know. They're not mind readers.
What do you reckon, Joe? Did we get through? Did we
Oh,
get
we heck
through?
yes, we got through. Do you know what? At the very end, we both had this feeling of still being in fight or flight.
Yeah, this is like a couple of weeks on. So everything was done. And we thought, because we had this end date, we thought, boom, everything's going to go back to normal immediately, didn't we? It would
Mhm.
literally be like a switch.
Yep, and the
Would
relief and, like, we'd go back to normal immediately, we'd be sleeping again, it'd be great. And then it didn't happen.
It didn't. It didn't happen. We didn't know what was going on. And we both realized, like, talk once again, communicating how you feeling, like physically, emotionally, mentally. Like we were having to check in on a daily basis because something still wasn't right, and it wasn't right for both of us, which is really, really unusual. And then we were both literally describing the same physical feelings, like that tingly feeling that you mentioned earlier on in the episode. And we realized that working for this long, like 3 months in this heightened state of stress and overwhelm, a little bit of fear kicked in there, in there just to, keep us on our toes, it had just become a habit. Doing that day in and day out for that amount of time had then become a habit. Our bodies didn't know how to get out of the fight or flight mode that they were in 24/7.
Mm, yep. I had to do a lot of laying on the couch watching TV,
Mm,
going
yeah.
to bed early.
Mhm.
Even though I couldn't really sleep properly still, I had to, like, really force myself to, like, switch off screens, be in bed, close my eyes.
Sleep. Yeah, sleep. We needed a reset. It wasn't just gonna happen overnight and magically stuff all our great working habits and all those boundaries weren't just gonna magically fall into place without something happening, and so that was a reset.
Mm,
An absolute
yeah.
reset of our bodies and our brains was required. I mean, and now I feel like we're in that place. Another
Oh,
week or
yeah,
so on.
I feel better than ever now.
Ready to take on the world.
Really
So we're
good.
gonna do another course then, Joe.
No, 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 no.
Not quite, not quite.
So, yeah, it does. It takes some time once you come out of that overwhelm to reset and some really intentional practices
Mhm.
to start to reduce that cortisol and get your body back into, okay, I'm not going to die. I don't need to be in survival mode. I am now safe. I can relax.
Mm.
So if you're in overwhelm, it is. It's going to take some time and some intentional practices, some boundaries, some decisions,
Some
some
self-care.
conversations.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you have it. Those are our lessons from what was a tough 3 months. But the results that have come out of Launch in 30 Days has made it all so worth it. one of our launches in particular, this let us know last night that, and that was, so we're recording this 12 days after the end of the course.
Mm-hmm.
During the course, she did all of the homework, all of the days, took that imperfect action, talked to her partner about her wanting to resign from her job,
Mm-hmm.
got his support, handed in her resignation. They've come on board as one of her clients doing part-time hours. And she now has 3 clients and is talking to her 4th.
I mean, that alone, if we didn't get any other stories besides that, I feel like that is so life-changing that just that story alone has been worth the blood, sweat, and tears that went into the past 3 months.
She used those words. This course has changed my life.
Aw.
That makes it all so worth it.
How can it not be worth it after hearing that?
Exactly.
And
So there
that's
we
it.
have
That
it.
comes back to our why as well,
Mhm.
right? It's
Mhm.
why you've always got to have a why and remind yourself of your why when when you're going through tough times, when
Mm.
the universe is challenging you, when the
Mhm.
universe throws something at you that goes, do you really want this? How much do you want it? Let's see. And then you either go challenge accepted or you go back to bed and put the covers over your head.
Mm. Decision time for you if you are overwhelmed. If you do not have the business that you want right now or the life that you want, what's the decision that you need to make right now to make that change? Is that enough with the lot, like launch in 30
Do we
days
want to go? No, do we want to go and launch in 30 days?
and
Do we need
just
to add something else to it?
okay. All right. If this has inspired you to want to make a change in your life, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So if this has inspired you to want to make a change in your life and launch your very own virtual assistant business, all just in 30 days, then check out the link below. The course is open 2, maybe 3 times a year. We may add a third. But go and check out the link and see when the next course opens because we would love to help you change your life. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Sam and Joe VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the VA Foundry website to check out the mastermind and the amazing resources, courses, and coaching.
You can find us at thevafoundry.com.